What's good, people? Yeah, man. Happy 20th to Supreme Clientele. I fucking love this album. Okay? Anybody that knows me knows I love this album. This is like top two for me. I've always said, like, my top two favorite albums of all time are Illmatic and Supreme Clientele. They're, in a way, they're the same album, but they're totally different approaches to the same album. And let me explain what I mean by that. They're both very writerly. You can tell that the person who designed that shit knew what the fuck they were talking about. Like in terms of the rights, the actual quotes, the bars, it's very writerly. Parole kids live Rapunzel. It's poetic. It's like super visual. The vivid laser aga, you know, like there's so many lines in that I just fucking love. I think the cast members, Superb and Solomon Childs for life, for living the life, thug for life, forever. I'm the kid, any non-stick of kid, king of New York, regulation party. Like that shit is just like raw. And there's so many beautiful lines, like Superb's, um, verse on Ghost Dini comes to mind. Like and I haven't listened to this song in months, and I'm trying to think like the fragments of it just stick in my mind still to this day. Um, Blame my chain or something in the beginning because that's how we rewind. And we don't eat swine, like if you don't bring me my cognac, I'll kill you. I can't feel you, ain't in my dollars, and some shit like that. Anyway, I have to listen to it. It's been a hot minute, and it's hard to remember like exactly the lines off top. But can you please tell God that we fucked up here? We got beer, gun, weeds, AIDS, all these obstacles. It's hard to make it nowadays. Why's the devil winning? Some say it's our fault. Yo, I love this shit, man. Anyway, Supreme Clientele, super duper classic, man. It was a point in time when I listened to that album like every day for like 5 years. I kid you not. Like it was that. Like I listened to that like songs from that album like every day for like a good 5 years, five maybe 5, 10 years. I don't know. Like when I did a short film called Pond, in 2015, 2015, and when I was producing that whole thing and just running around town trying to get actors and the set and all that stuff. Like I would drive around listening to Supreme Clientele, that entire shit. That was the fuel that gave me that whole project. I remember when I was driving one of the stunt guys back. We were leaving after the first day of the shoot, and we were leaving late at night because we had been shooting for hours and hours. And I think it was that day, or maybe it was like the end. It was rap. I think it might have actually been rap the day after. Either way, I had the CD in my car, and he was just like, "Yo, I love that Supreme Clientele shit." He hadn't listened to it in years, and he's like, "Yo, there was a song on there." He's like, "Is it called Buck 50?" I was like, "Yeah, Buck 50 is my shit." So we put that in the car. We're blasting that shit driving down the highway. Um, Classic, man. Stupid classic. I got some notes here. I was reading some articles on Supreme Clientele. And let me see what my notes tell me. Yeah, I guess I should start when I first got into it. So here's the thing. I first heard Supreme Clientele really in 2006. It took me a minute to actually listen to the whole album. I'm gonna be honest with you. I first heard a song from Supreme Clientele back in 2000. Now, as many of you know, I used to live in Saudi Arabia. So in Saudi Arabia, it was hard to like listen to hip hop, and I think that's how I became so addicted to it because it was hard to find. You had to really dig for the shit, and that's what. It's not like it was just available to you, so you could just kind of like listen to it. Like you had to really dig. You had to know people that knew people, where to find the songs, like the dark corners of the web and stuff like that. That's why I have that passion for hip hop to this very day, and that's why I analyze this shit so heavily. And I remember I had the Source, I think it was the Source 2000 or something like that. There was a CD um, that basically was talking about the top like 20 songs of the Source selected for the 2000s. And I remember the Cherchez La Ghost was on that shit. And when I first heard Cherchez La Ghost, I thought it was whack. I couldn't get into it. It was so different from the rest of the stuff on there. And so I just was like, nah, I'm not listening to that. But I loved Wu Banger 101. I'm not even sure how I came across that record. I think it was just on some GeoCities page. Remember GeoCities? And I listened to it and I loved Wu Banger 101. So I played that for years before I even knew that there was a Supreme Clientele. I discovered Supreme Clientele by pure accident in a lot of ways. So around 2003, 2004, I started digging really heavily into hip hop like that I had missed. Like these albums that I'd heard of, but I just hadn't had the chance to listen to them Soul Seek days. And for anyone who remembers those LimeWire Soul Seek days. So I'm like downloading all kinds of albums, I'm listening to stuff because hip hop was starting to fall the fuck off in 2004. Like that was really like when Kanye came in and Eminem was doing stuff and Jeezy. It was trash. Like you could see it was like an overnight like like 50 had come out and was making some great music. And then it was like the next big thing was Kanye West. And you were just like, what the fuck? What happened to this hip hop shit? Anyway, so I start digging. And I want to say that like maybe 2005, whenever, YouTube sort of started being a thing, YouTube was very instrumental too, because YouTube was when you could like discover acts like you'd never heard, you'd never seen the videos and shit. That stuff was mind blowing, B. Younger cats, don't take it for granted how easy it is for you to find music now. That's why there's no excuse. Like, it was a lot harder for people like me who grew up abroad, or for people in general who miss stuff to just get access to music. So the fact that you have it at your fingertips is pretty crazy. And anyway, I think I must have seen the video for Mighty Healthy. I think I put in Ghostface because I was listening to Fish Scale or something like that. And I put in Ghostface, and I saw this thing. Again, this is YouTube has just pretty much started, and someone had uploaded the video for Mighty Healthy. So I'm like, oh, Mighty Healthy, I don't know the song. What is this shit? I clicked the video for Mighty Healthy, and I was gone. Like, when that shit comes up with the face, and he's like, my God, so they are killers, and that whole shit, I was gone, B. Like, I was just like, this is the illest shit I've ever seen. And use both hands clustered. I was gone. I was fucking gone. I was just like, this entire song, video, vibe, this is me. Like, this is everything I live for. Artistically, in this rap shit, whatever. And right away, I was like, I must buy this fucking album. So I went in and bought the shit. And, I didn't like all of it right away. I loved Mighty Healthy. I was stuck on that record for so long. I loved One. And Wu Banger 101 I had already heard, 6 years prior. And I loved that. I loved Child's Play. So, the main sort of songs. And then over time, I had it in my car and I was like listening to it over and over again. And in like Illmatic, I just found I was listening to this shit so often that I was just like, this has to be one of the greatest hip hop albums ever. Like, when you start listening to stuff and it's been 3 fucking years and you've been listening to a CD for like, every day for 3 years, at some point you go, there's something about this album that's not usual. I love Supreme Clientele. I love the humor in it. I love how like, extravagant and elegant and hood and grimy and beautiful it all is, like it's really like, it's such a strong album and it's celebratory. It's happy. That whole story about Ghost going to Africa and Benin and sort of like coming back home, where I'm from kind of thing, that like coming back to the motherland to get that sauce. Cause that is us. You know what I'm saying? Like when you go back home, every time I go back to Nigeria and I come back, like I think of like Supreme Clientele shit. That's that like, like celebratory, like, happiness is a way of life, man, because shit is hard down there. So if you can survive that and you're out here in the Western world, what the fuck are you complaining about? And I think that's what was so dope about Supreme Clientele. It has this celebratory, like, I'm gonna live my life to the fullest, B. I'm gonna be happy. Like, I'm gonna do my best to be happy. And not happy in this cornball, like, oh, I'm so happy, but like celebratory. Like, like Don't take the people around you for granted. Be warm, be friendly, be kind. You know what I'm saying? Be expressive. Say what you really feel. And that's the beauty of Supreme Clientele. And the fact that he went all the way to Africa to get that sauce that led to nutmeg and the whole vibe of Supreme Clientele is it's a nice story. Is it true? Did it happen? I don't know. It probably did. Maybe it didn't. But the fact of the matter is that charisma, that's us. That's us, man. And it's kind of heartwarming that someone black American went and came back to the motherland and was like, yo, like, I fuck with what y'all are doing. I'm gonna take some of this energy. Cause I mean, that's what we do. Black people, we communicate with each other through our music across diaspora, right? So I love Supreme Clientele. It's abstract, but it's not goofy. A lot of people make these art house, goofy, garbage ass rap albums, so-called rap albums. And as a writer in Stereogum said, Ghostface was making some intellectual, smart shit with this album, but at the end of the day, it's just bangers. It's simple bangers. It bangs in the Jeep, it bangs in the club, whatever you need, right? These are just bangers. You have to make hard records that bang. At the end of the day, if your shit don't bang, you're not making hip hop. You are making some watered down version of maybe hip hop, or you're just making something else entirely. If you are not making bangers, you don't have the charisma, the vocals, the beats to pull off whatever it is you're saying, you are trash. You're not like Ghostface, okay? A lot of people, oh, I'm just like Ghostface. You see people imitate the shit out of Supreme Clientele. These Griselda lames. You're not Ghostface, B. Action Bronson, you're not Ghostface. You guys are trash. You don't have the charisma. You don't have the intellect. You don't have the heart for this shit. You know what I'm saying? You can entertain the casuals. You know what I'm saying? With that Xerox shit. But we don't listen to that stuff. We listen to the real shit, okay? And that's Supreme motherfucking Clientele. So happy 20 years on Supreme Clientele. Beautiful album. My favorite song on there, Stroke of Death. That's my shit. That'll probably always be my shit. I loved, I'm picking this up, my notes. But I absolutely love the whole album. I think every song is great. My least favorite song is probably Malcolm. I like Malcolm. I think Malcolm is dope, but it's probably my least favorite. But I love every song on that album. I mean, that's what makes it classic. I love that Who Would You Fuck skit. I think that's the best skit in rap history. It's definitely up there, man. It's funny as hell. The beat is great. And it's childish, but in a funny sort of, reminiscent kind of way. So I think that album is great, man. Let's see what else I got to say about this whole shit. Cherchez. Yeah, of course I've warmed up to Cherchez now. I think Cherchez is brilliant. Ladies love Cherchez. I like Cherchez a lot. I think it's a brilliant song, and it's the perfect sort of club record, but it's in ghost style, and that's what you're supposed to do. You do your own thing. Let people catch up. I caught up. I didn't like it at first. I caught up. You have to let people catch up to shit, man. Those are what true artists do. So yeah, shout out to Supreme Clientele. That's probably I've always said it's top 3 Wu album. Might be the best Wu album actually. Period. I'd put it over 36 Chambers. Probably put it over Liquid Swords too. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the best shit that Wu ever came out with, personally. And that's on the list with Liquid Swords, Cuban Links, Enter the 36. Yeah, that's a great album, man. Easy.